everybody, how's it going? Lord Josh here once again. I hope you're all doing well out there today. I thought that I would take the opportunity to speak a little bit about my past, most especially my early school days. And it was actually quite funny because I often think about memories and what does it mean to dwell and get nostalgic on one's memories. What does it actually mean to sit back and get a little introspective about your past? Is that something that's healthy to do? And I think that it is within moderation. I think that certain people can drive themselves crazy thinking about the past. And I'm not someone to dwell or brood upon what has gone by. But I was thinking a little bit about my past, and most especially I was thinking about my last couple of years in primary school, which would be junior school for my overseas viewers. And I was thinking about my skills at that time. I was particularly great at reading and writing. Everything involving words I was pretty damn good at. And we were all asked, it was the end of the day, we were all asked to write a story about the crucifixion of Christ. And as all of you out there know, I am not in the slightest bit religious. I certainly don't believe in the Catholic or Christian gods, and I don't follow the system. That being said, I sat down, I used my creativity and my imagination because I didn't have my soul and heart into the story that I was creating because I didn't believe in it. But I was still able to produce a kind of quality of work. And I was pretty proud of it at the end. So after a while, after I'd gotten done finishing my work, the teacher tapped me on the shoulder and says, I want you to take this to the head teacher's office, the headmaster, and show him. And prior to that point, I don't believe that I had ever gotten to that level where my work was celebrated and taken to the headmaster's office. So I felt pretty damn good about that. So I took it to his office. He read it. He was thrilled, he was inspired, he said it was fantastic. Of course, that made me feel inspired to do a lot more. And he says, as a reward for doing this, I'm going to give you some kind of achievement sticker, and I want you to read this just before we leave at the end of the day to the whole class. You can read your story to the whole class. So I thought, excellent, I've never done anything like this before, this is great. So I read it, people liked it, I got a round of applause at the end. And I was thinking, okay, this is the propulsion that I need, the motivation. I'm going to use this to propel me to do greater things in the future and continue to write stories. And at that time, I wasn't necessarily preoccupied with writing stories about religion or God. I just used my imagination to create something that I thought would be worthwhile. Well, now, fast forward a couple of months later. We were all asked, I'm going somewhere with this, and you'll get this in the end. And I don't think a lot of you will guess where this is going. We were all asked to create custom-made bookmarks because we were doing Bible study, and obviously the Bible is so large you can get lost. And they says, well, go ahead, everybody, make a bookmark, make it colorful, make whatever you want, they said. So I thought, okay, I'm given free range now. I work best when my creativity has no barriers or limitations. It doesn't have to be about religion this time. I can go to work and I can put my heart into something that I believe will be worthwhile. So I was thinking, yes, this is great. Awesome bookmark. So I started to create it with 3 buddies of mine, and it was an ODT related bookmark. I drew, obviously my favorite video game, I drew the ODT logo on the front, and I colored it in. It was very nice, all colorful, all bright, very vivid, and very detailed as well for the time, for my age. On the back, I had the names of the individual crew members. And I remember putting my heart and soul into this damn thing, thinking this is wonderful. This is going to motivate me to want to learn more about the Bible, because although, yes, I admit it bored me at the time reading the damn thing, at least I could look at my bookmark and say, okay, this is for a worthwhile cause. So as I was doing it, my buddies were creating slightly different versions of the same bookmark, but it was all ODT related. And once again, I got tapped on the shoulder, and I thought, oh, I'm going to be celebrated again for my work. I'm going to be, given another achievement award or something. Tapped me on the shoulder, the same teacher did, and took the bookmark off of me and said, what is this? And I said, that's what I'm creating for the Bible study class. She says, "Oh no, you can't create this. This is not right. This is not appropriate." She proceeded to grab the bookmark, throw it into the trash. She just threw it straight into the trash, along with my friend's bookmarks as well. And I said, "Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this?" And she said, "The reason why I'm doing this is because it's totally inappropriate for a classroom setting." And at the time, I didn't say anything because I was so shocked and stunned by it. But what I should have done was taken those bookmarks out of the trash and used them at home. I should have just used them at home. But instead, the reason why, it dawned on me a few days ago. I was thinking back and reminiscing slightly about my past. And as I said, I don't usually do that. But I came to the conclusion, the reason why in the beginning that my work, my story was celebrated, it's not because it was particularly brilliant. It was good for the use of propaganda, I believe. Because when you're in school, most especially a religious setting, it's like a cult. When you're in this setting, you have to set an example. You have to step forth and be the shining star. And they saw me, okay, we've got, a student, not a teacher. We can use him as the tool to inspire the other classmates. We can use him to be the example of what they should live up to being. So they used me as a cog. And that day, I didn't even realize it. I didn't even know that I was being used as a cog. It didn't dawn upon me. I thought that I'd done something great. And then, of course, as soon as I happened to deviate, oh no, use your individuality and your creativity, create something that you want, not what the school wants, that's when you're punished. Even though the work was fantastic, I put everything into it, it was detailed, it was colorful, it was the right size, it was perfect for a bookmark, we can't allow you to use that in the classroom setting. And like I said, why didn't they just tell me to take it home? They should have done, but they didn't, because they didn't want me to have free range of my own thoughts. And I always loved when it came to English class when they says, okay, you can write whatever you want. That's when I thrived. I loved it when I had total free range of ideas and imagination. But sadly, those opportunities do not come by so much in school. They really don't. You have these guidelines and these strict limitations, and you have to abide by them constantly. So after this, I would say that that might have been the spark in my mind where I said, I started to feel like I began to question more and more about the education system. But at that point, I was far too young to understand what I was up against. I didn't have the level of comprehension that I do now, where I could say, yes, it was an obvious attempt, the first one, where they was using me to brainwash other people. Basically, that's what they were using me for, and I was very ashamed of that when I discovered that a few days ago. I thought, wow, it's just dawned upon me what they were actually doing. And I participated directly, and I involved myself within that wholeheartedly. And I shouldn't have done it. So a lot of you will know. You think, oh, I've done this excellent work, this is fantastic, I'm wonderful. And you go ahead and you apply the same quality of work to something that doesn't relate to the topic in question, and then you get punished for it. It's absurd. It's totally ridiculous. But that is why I have such a despisement of the education system. I just don't like it. I very much dislike it because I see it as a total distraction and as a tool of programming and polarization, where out of reflex action, you are told to do this or that and you obey it. Because it feels good to have the teacher on your side. It feels wonderful to be praised rather than to be punished. But you've got to realize that what matters is not your grades or your GCSEs. What matters is your strength of character. I tell everybody about this all the time. To have strong character is what will make you successful in life. So I hope you've enjoyed my sort of back in the day story. And I'll be coming back with these in the future as well. So thank you for watching, everybody. Take care. And don't reminisce too much. It's really not good for you.